Hi everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Hallmark Plus More, where we watch and talk about shows, movies, mysteries, Hallmark ornaments, and anything else that floats our boat. So today we're going to doing a review of Tracker Season 2, Episode 2. If you just watched it with me, thank you for coming back so we can kind of talk and review. So this episode we got to see a little bit more of Russell. Or should I say, we got to see him for the first time in season 2. We saw him a little bit in season 1. So anytime you have a family dynamic, right? You always have kind of that conflict and that information you learn from childhood as they discuss any kind of family matter. He also has a sister named Dory. We didn't see her today. So this episode was interesting for sure because it was talking about UAPs, UFOs, and government conspiracy. So obviously, it did kind of resonate with both of the brothers because if you know the backstory about their dad, he was kind of into conspiracy theories as well. Not necessarily UAPs and UFOs conspiracy, but government conspiracy. So you don't really know exactly what it was. More that the government was covering something up, not necessarily this specific topic of UAPs. But I definitely think the show was very interesting, showing that, people are discussing it. They're just doing it quietly because of this conspiracy that the government, is gonna, show us something. And I just think that's really interesting, that aspect of it. So I really think, it was an interesting show. I'm very disappointed that Dr. Blair had to die. I mean, obviously they said possible dead body and then, suicide, which we know wasn't suicide. She had her back. She was trying to leave town. And it's disappointing that happened. Does that happen in the government? Who knows? People say that that's what the government does, that there's some conspiracy there. Who knows? Nobody really knows. I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other because I don't have any information or any research. Never really looked into it. But it's just disappointing to me because even from the first time we saw Dr. Blair, she seemed concerned. Like she knew that could be a possibility. Like she feared for her life. And she was just talking. It could have been Scott. It could have been somebody else on the chat because apparently they had a little chat on the side, going a secret chat to talk about research and trying to decode this. So, happy ending. The person they were looking for, Scott, got reunited with his daughter who set out the reward to find him. So that's always good when you see that happy ending, when you see the person they're hunting or looking for or tracking is safe and sound. However, there's that collateral damage, which was Dr. Blair, who didn't need to die. You know what I mean? So that disheartens me that they did that. But I think that happens in life. I think, completely innocent bystanders, die in different accidents all the time. You see somebody die in a car accident and a drunk driver hit her and the drunk driver was completely fine but killed a family. So, I mean, it happens that people die like that, but I just think it's terrible because I really like Dr. Blair. I feel like she was just a curious professor trying to understand research and had colleagues and a chat trying to do it. So that bothers me. But all in all, I did like the episode. I love Rennie. One of the things that I was telling you I like about Bobby is Bobby kind of puts culture in his place too. I like their relationship, their brother. I feel like they're kind of like brothers, the way they go back and forth. He really appreciates Bobby. Rennie is the same way. Maybe that's why I gravitate towards her as one of my favorite characters on the show, because she's like, listen, you son of a bitch, nobody could have texted me back out of these two brothers. Like, I love that about her. She has no filter, and yet she's a lawyer, and you saw her with another lawyer, like, oh, it's because I'm being nice. And she's like, oh, really? It's because you're being nice? Do women actually buy that? So she could be a smart ass, but she backs it up. She's a very good lawyer. And I love the way she kind of combats backs and forth with Coulter. And, Velma is getting closer with Renee, just because I think, her separation with Teddy, but she's also helping her with her new office. So I feel like that's giving Velma more validation. And like she said, I feel like I'm being useful. Anytime you separate from a spouse, from anybody, any relationship you're in, even a friendship, if it's not even a romantic, you want to feel useful, and you kind of want to, move on. So I feel like, Velma is helping, or Renee is helping Velma feel that way. You know what I mean? Because anytime you go through a loss or a breakup, it's difficult, right? And in the article that I read, it looks like they're gonna have Teddy and Velma divorce, and then maybe if she wants to come back in season 3, rekindle their romance. So it doesn't look like we're seeing Teddy at all this season. So you're gonna see a little bit more of that vulnerability, I think, with Velma as it sinks into the realization, like, hey, I'm breaking up with my wife, like we're not getting back together. So I think Rennie is really going to be able to be that friend for her. And hopefully Bobby too, you know what I mean? This just brings this, these characters closer together. And even at the end when Russell was like, yeah, you can go walk to your truck. I mean, I can just, that's that family dynamic, and Russell wanting to date and have a date with Renee. So, definitely think that's kind of the fun of the show. Definitely interesting. I feel like I learned a lot about different, how they do things. And I think this kind of feeds into what people think. They think the government has a conspiracy. They think they have some of these camps or workplaces. But are they like detaining people, like, what they tried to do with Scott? But apparently Scott got away and found the camp, but they did get Coulter. So, I guess it kind of leaves it up in the air. Russell believes, Coulter doesn't. I think that's with society. Some believe, some don't. Some believe it's conspiracy or it's theory. And just like they said, just like Russell and Coulter said, Scott's in the clear. He has no proof, and he's just going to sound like some nut job, like they said, on the internet, saying this is happening. So I just don't know why they had to kill Dr. Blair. She didn't have any proof either. So, I mean, if she had the same information Scott did, I guess they were just afraid she was going to find out more information. Or maybe she did know something that she was holding back, and that was critical. Maybe she had some kind of proof and they killed her and took the proof. I mean, you just don't know. But definitely a great episode. Looking forward to next week. I hope you enjoyed watching it with me. I hope you enjoyed reviewing it with me. So see you next time. Bye-bye.